Hello, everybody. I'm Massimo Rossetti, the CEO and co-founder of Alpha Augmented Services. To give you a little background story, how did we get into Alpha? I spent more than 20 years in logistics before in different positions where I was confronted on a daily basis of how inefficient shipments are sent around the world. And the customer's paying for that inefficient, right, up to 30%. And he still on a year-to-year basis trying to negotiate his rates while he could reduce his cost by 30% with improving his efficiency. So in 2011, that led me to provide a solution and service, manual-heavy and asset-heavy back then, to Microsoft, Nokia, and Jabil to reduce their cost. However, as I mentioned, it was asset-heavy and not scalable. And in 2020, that led me and my co-founders to found Alpha and digitize that process and help the customer through technology directly to reduce their cost and CO2 emissions. So logistics in general, just to give you an overview, is a $10 trillion business and industry which is ready for change, right? 6.8% year-on-year growth. However, the challenge and problem there is that 22% is the impact of supply chain into the environment. 80% of the stakeholders and shippers are still using legacy systems, Excel sheets, manual, heavy per se, right, and SOPs. And 76% of the customers are looking for digitalization, right, but they're not able because each shipment has so many stakeholders to manage and they're looking for solutions. 80% or 50% of the logistics cost is driven by packaging and shipping, and 80% of the customers are looking for sustainable solutions but have no idea how to get there. And this is how we help them with Alpha. All these problems lead to 90% of the shipments being shipped inefficient, right? And one shipment being shipped inefficient leads also to assets and aircraft, trucks, and containers being loaded inefficient, right? And if you see here, 79% is the utilization of an aircraft. 68% is the utilization of a container, and 53% the utilizations of trucks. So that means every fifth plane should be avoided being in the air. Every third container and vessel can be avoided to be on the water, and every second truck almost is to be avoided to be on the street. And that is all driven by inefficient shipments, right? And that is how we help them. So we want to transform logistics by using technology. We have 3 objectives as Alpha. We want to, 1, simulate and quantify the improvement opportunities. So we tell them where they're lacking, where they're inefficient, how to get there with KPIs, and how much the potential saving is. And number 2 is our daily bread and butter. We optimize each and every single shipment because each shipment is different in quantity and product mix, right? So each shipment is important. Number 3, with our AI approach, it's about how to refine order practices. Here we look into order behavior and patterns and how can we improve future shipments by consolidating or adjusting the orders. Our core products and how we achieve these savings for our customers are 1, Opti Insight, which is an innovative dashboard in the logistics which is lacking innovation and technology in general. But that Opti Insight gives them clear KPIs on how to achieve the potential savings we're showing them. They can measure it, and we measure also the savings achieved through these KPIs and new routes we implement for them. And I'll show you later on a little bit more about Opti Insight. Opti Ship, very important. We don't change the standard process and what they have available. Already with the existing packaging they're having, with our guidance and packing instructions, they're saving up to 20% on cost and CO2. And that leads to Opti Footprint. We calculate and measure every kilo they're saving for each shipment, right? And that is important because every kilo avoided is reducing CO2 in general. But also every pallet we save, every shrink wrap we save, brings them closer to their next net zero goals which they have. OptiPack is about reducing the packaging for them, looking into what is the optimal packaging for your products and for the transportation mode. But also improving and recommending basically how to pack the box in e-commerce, for example. You've all received a big box with a small piece you have ordered right at the end of the day. And that is exactly OptiPack, right? We want to avoid to have air shipped around the world. OptiOrder, AI approach on how to optimize orders by analyzing and reviewing the order behaviors and order patterns the customer has. What are the achievements we have achieved so far for our customers, global customers, right, and transportation companies? We have saved them up to 20% on logistics cost and CO2, right? But also on top improved productivity and warehouse utilization. because that is all driven by shipments. Without a shipment, there's no logistics, right? And we should look into send shipments as efficient as possible. The achievements overall by transportation mode and verticals or industries in general, as you can see, we achieve double digits in industries where the freight is not as heavy, like consumer goods, high-tech, retail, and pharmaceuticals. But we achieve also savings where the freight is heavy, right? So here it's about how can we optimize a container, how can we reduce certain kilos which are shipped unnecessary, like pallets, right? We review each and every single option. And we achieve still single digits, high numbers with these customers. And that helps them, again, not only cost, but CO2, because offsetting would also cost them in general to do it. And here they don't need to offset, it's an insetting which we provide them. Technology-wise, we seamless integrate in any system the customer is using. So we're API and EDI driven. However, we see that the industry is still 20 years behind, more or less, right? So a lot of Excel sheets and emails. But we have found a way to automate that process as well by receiving an email which is sent to a generated email by us with one template, which is uploaded automatically, and we send the packing instructions to the shipper. And by doing so, we control the shippers for our customers, right? We control their cost and their emissions. Just to give you an easy output for one of our customers, this is very much tailorable or you can tailor it to the demand and needs the customer has in general. But as you can see, it's very easy and simple. It's like a Lego manual. The customer can now pack according to what the best efficiency is for his shipment and reduce his cost by following step by step on how to pack it. Looks simple, but if a human has to do it and calculate all the 19,000 possible options, which we have an average for one shipment and order, it is not possible, right? So overall. So for us, we provide that and provide that in a very simple format. So how do we provide and show the customer the savings, right? We have that Opti Insight dashboard, which per se is a lot more than just a regular dashboard. We show the customer, first of all, what is your potential? Where are you lacking efficiency in general, and how much is that inefficiency costing you on emissions and transportation cost? So for that customer here, we're saving him $120,000 a month and 300 tons of CO2, right? And that is a game changer for them. They're now even going to WEF with our solution and present it as a game changer within that industry and provide them the CO2 emissions they are effectively saving and without offsetting. Just to give you an example of how shipments are sent around the world, that's what I was confronted on a daily basis, right? You see on the left side, shipments being packed like this every day. KPIs are not there. People don't understand what the inefficiency is costing them. And on the right side, same shipments with our help. A lot more efficient. You can do a lot more with that freight. On the left side, you cannot load both of these shipments into one container. On the right side, very easy, right? You can stack them, you can load more efficient, and reduce your cost by doing so. To give you an idea what one shipment does, and this is 2.3 metric tons of CO2 we're saving for one shipment in average. That's equal to each of us here in the room, 6 months of CO2 footprint, or going car-free for a year, or eating vegetarian for 3 years, right? And that is what we as humans have to do, what one shipment does, and it should be a no-brainer. Every shipment should be sent efficiently. Thank you very much for listening in. I hope I was able to trigger some more interest and motivation, also if you ship around the world, to make sure it is shipped in the most efficient way. Thank you very much.